We're back. I'm recording this. Probably gonna have to pre-record a couple of videos. I didn't bring my notes with me. That sucks. Forgot to take them. Been making notes over the weeks, the things I want to say, and the next few videos will just be the last 2 weeks of my work, my job, my 9 to 5, what I've been doing. Once again, a little bit. I'm gonna have to keep it vague, of course, to not overshare. Don't want certain people coming for me. But you're in this job, $18 an hour. It's not very mentally taxing, but it is physically taxing. But I use my mind, plenty of room to wander around and think of things. Start asking questions. Questions I've been asking, of course, before I even started this job, like, do I really want to work, for $18 an hour, And it seems like, if you're on the tubes, the internet, the tubes, that seems to be the play for a lot of companies, sticking people at $18 an hour. But here's the kicker about this job. I'm mobile. I'm mobile. Which means that I can do a lot more with the platform I'm have been given. I see things on places. I'm in various affluent neighborhoods. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I see a lot of potential for this job to not just be what it is. I see a lot of potential to merge this position, this opportunity, this platform with something else. A couple other things, actually. Not only just data collection, which I've already brought up to my manager in charge, but something I haven't brought to him was advertising. You're in a mobile truck platform, and it's perfect for advertising. You just slap a big sign or some kind of moving scroll, projector or something on the back of the bed, and there you go. You get paid to advertise. But that's what I've been doing. Thinking of ways to really maximize and bend this system, this opportunity, this low-wage job to my advantage, to make me some extra cheese. Now, the thing is, our cars, our vehicles that we use, they have cameras on them. They have front-facing and back-facing cameras, so they can see what we're doing in our trucks and spy on us and listen to our conversations that we're having with ourselves, because we're all trying to figure out, we're all going nuts trying to figure out how are we supposed to survive off of anything below $25 an hour. And all you can do is laugh at it, because they're never gonna come out and just give you more. And I've thought of that. I start this acquisition and merger for the data collection, because the front-facing cameras, are already collecting the data. We're just not getting paid for it. But I thought about that. What happens if I get this merger and everything going, and they give us $1 raise, they give us a 50-cent raise? I'd be pretty mad about it. By the way, I'll be so mad about it. I actually get this going, and a lot of people are going to be mad at me, because they are not always on the up and up, and they don't want more cameras, more surveillance on their vehicles. But like I said, you're already being surveyed. They're already collecting that information, probably selling it for themselves. Why not just collect that information for somebody else and spread it all over? Whether it be to Google, whether it be to the police, whether it be to the repo agencies, wherever. That data is gold. Data is gold in this new world. They want to know where you're going. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know if your tags are expired. They want to know where you've been, where you spend your money, if you have any money to spend. As I mentioned in my previous video, my manager, his money just goes to bills and he never sees it. It just hits his bank account and then goes back out. But I want to know what's happening to the American consumer. And it's no mystery. It's no mystery. I think it's more of what American consumer is not tapped out yet. Which American consumer still has money to actually throw someone's way. And I think that's more of it, because we know the poors, we know who's not spending money. They know. You can read the ADP reports. You can go and search on how much a certain level of people are making in the organization. You can go search all of that information up. That's not hard to figure out. It's the discretionary spending. It's what the data collection really comes into play. Who has discretionary money? And like I said, I'm in poor neighborhoods, but I'm mostly in affluent neighborhoods, because affluent neighborhoods are generally newer. And if something goes wrong or they want something new, they generally tend to be more vocal about it to the utility companies and governing bodies. And the governing bodies and utility companies are more than likely to bend to their will because, they're going to cause trouble. They're going to charge these affluent people. They're going to start causing a stir. And they're going to be bitter about it. And they're going to whine and complain until somebody does something about it. And that's just how it goes. But that's what I've been doing. I've been inventing things. I've been inventing new tools to do my job. Of course, that trickles down to the network of workers as well. I've just been doing so much stuff that, and I want to come talk on YouTube. And I see everybody else wanting to come talk on YouTube. They're most likely unemployed like I was a few months ago. And I can't believe that we're already in March. 2 months are already gone by with this employer. And the one thing I thought about as I got my check yesterday, Friday, is that I don't care about this check. I don't care about this check. No one in my house making any kind of an income. And it's going to go to bills. It's never enough. I'm already thinking about the next check, the next Friday, 2 weeks from now. In 2 weeks, waiting 2 weeks for a check that really isn't going to move the needle is just diabolical, honestly. And it's I gotta make it better. And there's a sick thing about this job, especially like most of the 95s, especially when you go through a deep training like I went through. Well, it was supposed to be deeper, but anything over a week of training, they generally tell you the rules. They generally tell you, what to expect. They generally tell you what they're going to complain at you about. I mean, sure, things have come up that weren't in the training, but you get into this habit. You get into this habit of thinking about, and it's so diabolical how they do it. You get into this habit of thinking about all the things they're going to complain about if you don't do this job a certain way, if you don't complete the assignment a certain way. You constantly have to appease the AI that's on your working system that you do work through, because it's judging you as well. It's actually looking at your photos, at least for my job, and I know it was for Amazon as well. It's tracking you, and they're trying to get rid of the managers, of course. But this place started out with no managers, very few managers. The managers are always swamped. So having the AI assistance for them, I can see where that actually helps them. But Amazon didn't really need it, but they didn't really need as many managers either. But the point being is that they get you into this routine where you have to think about what they're going to come at you with before they come at you with it. And it's a sick system. It's a sick system. So you'll be constantly sitting there like, oh, if I don't do this, they're going to say this. If I don't do this, they're going to say this. And is there a real consequence to it? Yes and no. You lose your job. Ooh, I'm going to lose my $18 an hour. Yeah. Okay, I'm not really motivated to do this job, but it's just enough. It's just enough to not feel terrible, because before this you were making zero income. But now that my situation has changed, my person that the other people, somebody else in the house has gotten a form of income they started. By the way, they haven't moved their legs in a year, and they're finding it very difficult to walk. Being a potato on the internet has its disadvantages, by the way, if you didn't know. But they're finding it very hard to adapt to this life. At the same time, they're getting paid $25 an hour to do the things that I have to do in person, which is talk to people. And it's the one thing about this job I don't want to do. It's the one thing that keeps me up at night, is talking to people. Because I talk to people. If you talk to the wrong person, the last person I talked to actually called me in. I actually called into my boss and was like, hey, this guy shouldn't be like doing this and stuff. Now, granted, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I trusted the system. I trusted AI. I trusted Google Maps. I trusted the voice in the box, and it led me astray 2 times, actually. The second time I called. The first time I didn't catch it, and that's the guy that called me out. The second time I caught it, and it still messed me up, which is why I'm so pro flip phone. Just figure it out, use a map, get the general area, but don't rely on it. Use your eyeballs, learn the streets. Even though it's a new area, it's not that new. It's not like I don't know, this new area that they just built a few years ago. It's not like I don't know what's there. It's not like I didn't study the maps. I don't know what a map is. I don't know what routes are. I know what those are. I've been a driver. I've been a CDL driver. I learned how to navigate things, right? But like I said, it's one thing about this job is you become a precognitive about everything that is going to try to how can you say it, get you fired, really. Try to get you, not really get you in trouble, because it's more like they're just going to nag at you, and you just don't want to deal with it. Especially, like I said, for $18 an hour, you don't really want to nag at it. I haven't even got my healthcare benefits in yet. So I really have nothing to lose, which is crazy. I got a dry promotion. That was fun. Oh, you're now tier 1. I moved from trainee to tier 1 not too long ago. Did it come with more money? No, you're not seeing anything. Maybe once I, go back to training, there's some additional training I will be doing. Maybe you'll get a pay bump from that. But for right now, no. But I'm trying to move past that. Like I said, mergers, acquisitions, inventions, those are my areas. Those are what are going to get me the real raises. And the back door is coming. The back door of the patents. The back door of working myself into the acquisitions while I get them dividends. Oh, those sweet dividends I'm going to get. I can't wait to just get paid, because they fell for it. I knew they were going to screw me. I know. Once again, you have to become a precognitive. What are they going to say? They're going to give you $1 raise for all their hard work of going and finding a different company to merge with you. They might not. I have to be prepared for that. $1 raise. I got to be prepared for it going south and just not happening at all, then you got to do something else. But it's been an interesting week. And like I said, I've had a ton of things to think about, a ton of things I wanted to get out onto the internet, even though YouTube doesn't seem to be popping. It doesn't seem to be popping. Everybody wants to talk about World War III. In fact, a guy called me out. He wants to talk about Antifa. He said I look like an Antifa member, when for a fact I look like a landscaper. I should have looked like a landscaper. I should have looked like a construction worker. But that's the thing that gets me about these people, these affluent people. Why I call them affluent people is they're so removed from work that not only that guy, but another guy, another woman in this somewhat affluent neighborhood, it said the same thing. That was their biggest worry, that I was ICE or Antifa or someone coming for them that, was this made up governmental group, I guess, and here we are, price of gas spiking, price of food going through the roof, has always been for months now, years now. Just everything going up in life. Rents going up, property taxes going up, wages being garnished, taxes being garnished, IRS coming for you, wages stagnating, and these affluent people, their biggest concern is ICE, Antifa. Not a hint of melanin in their skin, nothing to worry about, because generally they'll just get let go or whatever. They're not part of that crowd. And it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But it's my random thoughts. I'm going to be doing a couple of more of these rambles, preloading the audio before I release the videos. And today, and hopefully I'll put these out in some manner or fashion over the week. I'm trying to get a new background going, maybe even get some picture flips so I keep people's attention. But like I said, this is just to get ideals out of my head and in some kind of a medium, so I'm not just talking to myself and looking crazy, because I can see on the tubes that everybody else is seeing this, and I'm not crazy. Everybody else is seeing this true. Alright? Everybody know the wages suck. Everybody know that they're trying to create a narrative. Narrative is the new word, the buzzword for me. The narrative. Alright? The narrative. In fact, you guys like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you watch this that says narrative. Narrative. So I know you watched it. I know you're not falling for the narrative. I know you're hip to the game. I know that you are in these YouTube streets and you see everybody else waking up to an existence that isn't working for them anymore. And I'll go ahead and nail out some more audio, and you can listen to me in the next one.